order. Just to recite, this meeting is being recorded. Public consumption. Roll call, please.
Bill Jenks.
Here.
Fred Mokel.
Here.
Ron Stanko.
Here.
Fred Levering.
Here.
And Steve Brunner.
He'll be a couple minutes late.
As will the solicitor.
Okay, we can continue because there's no actionable items coming up. Is there any public comments? Okay.
I'd like to ask one question. I just can't stop myself. I'm just curious as to why we put an ad, and does have something to do with personnel, why we have an ad in for treasurer, which is the
Wrong
same
agenda, Ron. This is fire and police.
personnel.
This is fire and police.
Oh, sorry.
Wrong one.
I'll come back next week.
Okay, hearing no public comments, we'll move on. Western Berks Ambulance.
Hold
You
on
have anything?
a second. We received the report from Western Berks. Obviously, there's not a representative here.
Any questions?
Just like to comment, the Narcan administration seems to be way up now. I don't know whether the chief is seeing things in that.
We have not personally administered them. I don't know if Western Berks has.
Do you want me to, yeah, it looks like 3 in Burn Township.
In spring?
Ooh,
Yeah.
2 here.
So we've got used to having 0.
I can take a wild guess where they are here. Okay, any other comments?
We haven't seen a representative from them for a couple of,
Yeah, really.
My guess is they're short-staffed and aren't able to attend.
Tony rarely misses lunch.
I've been in communication with
Call
them
for an ambulance.
about other things, so it's alive and well.
Yeah, they're short-staffed.
Alrighty, we'll move on to West Side Emergency Management.
All right. Updating of the emergency operation plan as required will be completed and ready for council's review in early 2026. Since there are a number of new people, not only here in this council, but some others, it has to be re-promulgated. So I will have, when I get all the numbers and names for everybody, so I can slide that into the papers, I'll make sure there's a copy here for people to look at if they so desire, because it will have to be voted on and approved. So that'll be, I don't know, if I get this stuff in by January and all that, it depends when everybody ships that off to me, so. And then I make a copy for everybody to have, so. It won't be like probably the first meeting, but hopefully right after that for review. We have been contacted by, although we only have a small portion of Berks campus for Penn State, we've been contacted by them and they are and want to pursue some local training that we can offer to them for some of their structure and pre-planning for their campus staff for emergency management things, which we're kind of surprised at. It kind of like, I don't know, everything went back to State College for some of their stuff, and then all of a sudden that contact vanished and everything, so I don't know what's going on there, but locally they seem more interested, so we're going to pursue that. We have a preliminary meeting with them on December 3rd to kind of review, like I'll say, a list of things that we need to do to accomplish whatever we need to accomplish there. The last monthly training session was about emergency operation plans, and we're in good shape with that. I'm up to date with as much as I can be up to date with at this time. The big drop of a bad ball is Code Red went belly up with a major cyber attack, and I still don't know exactly where we're headed there. I got some information this morning, and I'm going to have to pursue it. I mean, it'll take a while. I don't know how much is lost. They don't either, which I'm like horrified at personally. I'm just like, what? This outfit is not just like for us. It's like across the country, and PA American uses it, the state uses it, other places use this system, and I am just in disbelief that they didn't have a backup of some kind. I really am. I don't even know what to say. I'm like, I was really growling on the phone with them. I know it doesn't do any good and it doesn't fix it, but I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, we all have little smaller, much smaller systems and have backups for them. I mean, you probably do for your own stuff at home even. I'm just, I don't know. I'm in disbelief, but I don't know what, there's nothing I can do at the moment. I sent them a note. I said, well, we'll review that. I would certainly hope if we continued with them that we wouldn't be paying the full price for a while. That's crazy because I don't know how long we'll be down. So I'm working on it. I'm going to do the best I can. There was all kinds of pre-planned stuff that was in there. And of course, everybody's names and numbers. You can't use a phone book kind of thing anymore. It doesn't exist. Everybody has their own cell phone, and people move into the area from all over the place and take that same phone with them. And I don't know. It's just absolutely, I just was like, oh my God. Anyhow, I'm working on it, and we'll continue to work on it, do the best I can there to get us back in shape. I don't know what else to
So the
say.
bottom line at the moment is it doesn't work.
Yeah, it does not work. And I know it was taken down off the website, which we had to do. You can't have people signing up now. And I only found out because the SWAT guys, Dave Bentz, sent me a note and said, hey, what's up with Code Red? And I'm there like, what are you talking about? They didn't even send me a note to say that the thing was out of whack. He sent me a note, and then I called him up. I'm there like, what's going on? And they said, oh yeah, didn't you get the email? I said, no, I didn't get any email. What are you talking about? Anyway, you don't need to hear any more of that. I'm working on it. So that's what I got. It'll be called Code Red Crisis 24. I did get a note though, just as a side note, that when the UPS plane crashed in Louisville, they have some contact system down there. Their emergency contact system completely failed them, and they were sending out a note to the whole town to like close their doors and windows, and because they didn't know what blew up and what was being spread around, they told the whole town to, and it didn't work. So
Wow.
I was like shocked to hear that, and I'm sure Louisville was too. Their local news guy put out the note finally or something that they had. Anyway, that's just a side.
Tom, do you have, for newly elected officials, do you have a tentative date for training in January?
I don't know if, did I send one out or not? Didn't I? I think I gave it to Melissa. She has it. Yes, to answer your question. Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay. Hopefully we won't need it.
Oh my God.
Okay, thank you.
That's me crazy.
Moving on to the police department. John.
Good afternoon, everyone. I don't have a whole lot today for once, so that's a good thing, I hope. First, as you recall, perhaps at the November council meeting, permission was granted to do promotions, to give conditional offer to two. The two officers have completed and successfully passed those items that they needed to with a conditional offer. So as of yesterday, it is now Sergeant Corey Moser and Sergeant Alex Bird. They officially taken over as supervisors. Corey's working today for his first shift as a supervisor. Second item is with, you also remember, permission was granted to hire. I gave the offer to the next person on the list, and that person has accepted. He has begun taking part in all of the items he needs to for his conditional offer. He has the Nelson Denny test remaining. He's done everything else except the academy, but he's passed everything other than the Nelson Denny, and I'm not worried about that. So my plan is for his start date to be Friday, January 9th. And then we'll bring him in a day. I'll take him, get his uniforms, that type of thing, paperwork with Melissa. And then Monday, the 12th, the academy starts. We have progress. And finally, I just wanted to, I've spoke about this before, Act 18, and I didn't know if you recalled, but Act 18 was passed when the legislature in Pennsylvania updated their distracted driving law. And part of that law, it requires municipalities with more than 5,000 people to now report information on traffic stops. So what we are doing is we're going to be reporting through our Tracks, which is our online citation platform that we use. They have, the state police has worked with them. They've created a form that they have to then complete after a traffic stop. And they then validate it. And then each month, Chris will be running a report through Tracks and then uploading it to the state. The state is then sending all the information from every department that they obtain the information from to a professor, and the college is escaping me at the moment. I apologize. And they will then be compiling a report, which the state will then publish. If you go online and you look for it, the state has been doing it for themselves the last couple of years. You can see what the reports look like. So that information, I would imagine sometime probably mid-2027 will be there for 2026. We must start updating the information on our traffic stops December 5th. So we're going to start on December 1st. So by January 10th, we will have to upload all of our information for the stops from December. So it's each month. We'll be doing the month before.
And how exactly does this make us safer?
Well, they're collecting information on basically who's being stopped, what are they being stopped for. They want to know if any searching is being done of either the vehicle or a person inside the car, and if an arrest was made, what the arrest was for. The form itself, when we do a traffic stop, we can scan a person's license, we can scan a registration, and it uploads it automatically to the citation. And when this was first discussed earlier in the year, all that information was supposed to automatically go to this form. Of course, it does not automatically go to the form. But we've been practicing with it, and it really only takes about 30 seconds to do, because it's a lot of just drop downs, and they don't actually want people's names. They just want to know male, female, race, they give a couple of options for violations for what they were stopped for, that type of thing. So if a search is done, you have to put a search, who it was or what it was with the vehicle, that type of thing. It does not take very long to do. It's just another thing that everyone's going to have to get used to doing. It's another step when they do the traffic stop. So, but we are starting that. Like I said, that will be starting December 1st. Just get right in, have a full month of it. And I would expect, as I said, that the state will be releasing data at some point in 27 for all of 26. That's all I have. If anybody has any questions, I'd answer them.
Sometimes the police blotter says Trax is down. How does that affect you?
It's the technology, just as we all know, sometimes it just doesn't come back. It comes back eventually. When you see that, the reason why they're doing that is because in my annual reports, I've been putting some traffic stop information, and that kind of thing is, everything that I collected will be in the state report, and I'm still going to do it in mine, but I don't have to search and arrests and things like that. They're used to me emailing them if I don't see the vehicle and the operator. You don't all see that information, but we do. and I'm always emailing, hey, is it there? Well, they've gotten to know that they put tracks as uploading, and then I see it, and I know it's coming, and I go back and look. So that's what that means.
Can I ask, the Lawndale traffic report, has that not come in? Is that why that's not on the agenda?
I emailed him after last, I think I copied you on that, and he said he would be getting it to us. He just,
I got that question.
I just wanted to make sure that's why it wasn't on the
Yeah,
agenda.
no,
I figured, just double
I
check.
haven't
Thank
received it yet.
Free does not mean quick.
you. No.
No, once we get it, I will definitely be putting it on. I just haven't received it.
Anything else for the chief?
Since Lawndale has been an item of concern for quite a while, perhaps in such a circumstance, you could just note Lawndale report not yet received or something.
Okay. Thank you, John. Moving on to the fire department. I forbid, I'm not calling you chief anymore.
Monthly response for November was 102 calls. Year-to-date response is 1,633. I think they are continuing on track to have another record number for overall annual responses. You can see the mutual aid numbers, both given and received. Average personnel per incident, 3.87. Average response time, 1 minute, 14 seconds. Based off the prior social media comments and the comments that I then made at the last council meeting, Captain Sites included a chart. Again, I think I explained at the council meeting the difference between turnout and average response time. And once again, kudos to our volunteers that are really only adding an extra minute overall to our response time when you factor their time on top of career leaving already at the station. 1,216 hours of training have been taken year to date. Busiest day of the week is Tuesday. Busiest time of the day, at least during the month of November, was from, what would that be?
6 p.m.
Yes, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Fire loss year to date is roughly 71,000, but for the month of November, 16,500, which was a vehicle fire. You can see inspection detail year to date, we're up to 358 inspections. Here are the charts in terms of responses for the month of November, types, mutual aid breakdown, QRS report, responses by day of week, and then here is the apparatus response time by unit. So that was all part of the documents that were emailed out to you with the agenda. It's also available on the borough website. Does anybody have any questions?
I have one question. Our current ISO rating
3.
is a 3.
Mhm.
I don't know, I know that review comes up every few years. I didn't remember what it was.
Every 5, and we're about 3 years out from our last one.
Okay, and I didn't know how that was going to be affected by us,
So that was
cutting off with spring.
That was part of the comments that I gave at the Borough Council meeting, as well as to what that ISO factor rating is based off of. I'd be more than happy to share my comments.
That's okay, it was just something I just was thinking about as we were going through some of this.
And for clarification, 1 is the best.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we came
More than
down in
that,
this
the better,
rating.
Yes.
I think we were previously at a 4 or 5 in the prior rating, and we came down to a 3.
We're up to a
I was going to
Yeah, sorry,
I'm an
up to a 3.
Yeah, up to a 3. Okay.
Does anybody have any questions on, sorry, the October monthly report, not the November? Well, it is November. We didn't change that. Because it's the month-to-date report, so sorry for that confusion. Does anybody have any questions? Changes made to the run card. It was brought to my attention last week for a couple of reasons. I think I mentioned at infrastructure about a specific run card being put in place for the Berkshire Mall when the fence went up that would change not only how they would respond to the property, but the number of apparatus that were coming both from our station and as part of mutual aid. In a follow-up conversation with Captain Sites last week, there are other changes that are needed to be made to the run cards, including making sure all high hazard occupancies are listed, removing ladder 79 as the initial dispatch unit on motor vehicle accidents, mulch fires, and similar dispatches, and changing that to the engine. I mean, if you think about what an engine does versus a ladder, also wear and tear on the ladder versus the engine is the more appropriate apparatus to respond to those types of incidents. Updating the run cards for the new EMS dispatch policy, which is time-based. You may recall we discussed that back at the March Fire and Police Committee meeting. And updating apparatus resource list to ensure we are calling the closest and properly staffed units to borough incidents to ensure the safety of firefighters and the public, aka mutual aid. So the run card authorization form that is up on the screen is the form that needs to be filled out and submitted to the county, which would authorize me in the absence of a chief at the current moment as the person to authorize any changes to the run card. The current run card authorization forms on file obviously list Ethan. And while we could actually go back to him and ask him to sign off on any changes, I don't really think that's appropriate. So, I mean, in this case, knowing that we're probably 4 to 6 months out from having a chief, somebody administratively needs to be able to sign off on any run card changes.
Somebody wish to make that motion?
I will.
Second. We have a motion and second to approve council authorized changes in the run cards until we get a chief. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Move it on to council.
Well, and this will be just for you to do the fire service only.
Well, it's fire and EMS. Since we do QRS, ALS, we are also considered ambulance service, so we have to do both forms.
And the county doesn't recognize a captain. It has to be the chief or fire.
Tom, you had a question?
I do. Ethan had provided me with a copy of the mall, previous mall run and map and all this stuff so that I would have some, working knowledge, I guess, or availability of information there, depending on what was going on. So do you think Adam could send me the newest?
Yeah, it's basically going back to what it was before the fence going up.
Oh, okay. Well, if he would maybe just tell me that. There's nothing, because I had this map that had, lots of like red and lines and this and that and whatever. And I had it only because it would at least make me aware of what had happened there with the response, so.
I mean, my guess is they're gonna go back to probably coming in Greenwood Mall and going around the backside because the sprinkler room is on that highway side.
Right,
So it would make the most sense for access points to go in that.
Okay. Thanks.
So speaking of the mall and the fence and so, everything is still cool. Nothing's changed since you last updated us.
So, I mean, sections on Woodland Road came down last week. I had a call with Glencraft this morning. The mall is now asking, based off of where they are at with the stormwater work, to take down portions of the fencing on the highway food court side. There's going to be a site meeting on Wednesday just to go over that with everybody that needs to inspect and sign off on it, as well as mall representatives. The caveat is, you may recall one of the violation notices that was issued was for sewage that was backing up onto the sidewalk in that area. So while the fence is up, the public can't get into that area, but Kraft's office wants to double check when they're out there Wednesday that that lateral repair that was made is holding and that's not a continued issue. If it is, we would allow the fencing to come down everywhere but in a cordoned off area where that lateral is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Update on the entry-level firefighter EMT hiring process, and I'll tie C1 with C3 a little bit. At the November council meeting, council authorized the hiring of the 2 entry-level firefighters. I issued their conditional offer letters immediately after council. Actually, I think I did it in the meeting, had the emails ready to go. They have both returned their signed offer letters. They are already scheduled for their psych evaluations in December, and they have received all the paperwork from Penn State Health, who is doing the NFPA physical as well as the drug screen. I also need to circle back to you just on, I have driver's license and backgrounds. I was kind of trying to get the psych and physical scheduled first since those are more time consuming. But otherwise, everything is on track for them to start likely January 5th. Does anybody have any questions on that? Technician and captain promotional process, the application and required advertisement for the Civil Service Commission rules and regulations were issued about a week and a half ago. Applications are due December 1st. Chief Phillips and I are co-proctoring the test on December 3rd. I should say test plural. We're doing both. And then after the written test, there's an oral interview that needs to be scheduled for the captain position, which the interview panel is made up of 3 captain or higher positions from outside agencies, not from within the borough. So I would expect motions for both of those at the January Fire and Police Committee meeting. Anybody have any questions, fire department related?
Good job. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. And that is all on the agenda. Do we have anything for executive?
One very minor thing is an update, no action needed.
No action, but
Informational.
personnel.
Yes, personnel.
Okay. So at this time, we'll adjourn into executive session for a personnel matter, and which no action will be taken on the meeting. Executive session and back into the normal agenda of the Fire and Police Committee. Entertain a motion to adjourn. Second, we are adjourned. Thank you.